All right, welcome back to part four, personality and values. We're going to start by looking at the Myers-Briggs framework. This is 16 personality types depending on where you fall within four different categories. So you can either be extroverted or introverted for the first category, intuitive or sensing for the second, a feeler or a thinker for the third, and a perceiver or a judger for the fourth. The first fairy we're going to look at is Tinkerbell. She is known as a campaigner under the 16 personality types. She is extroverted because she enjoys being around people and a lot of different types of tasks. She's intuitive because she makes decisions mostly based on patterns and relationships. She values harmony over hard facts most of the time and the truth. And she's a perceiver. She's curious and spontaneous. The next fairy we're going to look at is Iridessa. She's known as an executive. She is extroverted. She likes to be around people and her friends. But she's very realistic and focuses on the details, using logical analysis to make decisions and following plans that are done in advance. And then last but not least, we have Vidya. She's known as a logistician. She is an introvert. She likes to work alone. She works at a very fast pace. She also focuses on details and using logical decision-making tools. And she also has plans and wants to stick to them. Other traits that we see in Pixie Hollow is a locus of control, mostly internal. Tinkerbell definitely shows this when she is trying lots of different things so that she can go to the mainland. She feels that if she can make changes within herself, she'll be able to change her external circumstances. So she has that internal locus of control. Another one is authoritarianism, which is basically how okay the fairies are with having a very hierarchical structure within Pixie Hollow, and this seems to be very high. They are often deferring to Queen Clarion as their leader or the sub-leaders of the lords and ladies of each season to make their major decisions, and they seem to be okay with that. Another one is Machiavellianism. Vidya is very high in this. She's okay to put other people down if that's going to get her higher up. She wants other people to understand that she is better than them, and she is willing to put other people's safety at risk to do so. When her superiority is not what someone perceives, she feels attacked. This is seen when Tinkerbell says, "Oh, I'm the same as you," and she says, "No, I'm rare. I make forces of nature. You just make pots and kettles, and your talent isn't rare." So that was an attack on Vidya, and she was willing to put Tinkerbell's and everyone else's safety at risk by sending Tinkerbell after the sprinting thistles to raise herself back up to having that higher perceived status. Another one is tolerance for risk. Tinkerbell is very high in this. She might just be stupid, but she is high and takes a lot of risks throughout the series as she's fighting against the rules put forth by Pixie Hollow. She is just fine going and interacting with human stuff or crossing the border if it means that she gets to satisfy her curiosity. This is why someone like Iridessa would make a better leader than Tinkerbell, because Iridessa understands that there's typically reasons why rules are in place to keep everyone safe and to follow them, and it's not worth breaking them just because you're curious about something. Tinkerbell would not be a good leader. She would not know how to keep everyone else safe because she's too curious about certain things. And then tolerance for ambiguity and being okay not knowing is very low in Pixie Hollow. They have a lot of rules, they're scared of a lot of things, and you're supposed to run away from things that are unknown, like humans, like hawks, like Gruff in Legend of the Never Beast. You're not supposed to be doing all this curiosity searching. It's dangerous and they don't want to do it. Oh, I forgot to switch my slides. This one was for tolerance of risk, of her interacting with human stuff, and also fearing the unknown. They hated when Zarina was messing with pixie dust because they didn't know what it might do, and she ended up making different colors of pixie dust, and she calls it alchemy at the end of the movie, and they're a little bit more okay with it at the end, but at the beginning she ends up basically getting kicked out of Pixie Hollow, though she does decide to leave on her own in the end. All right, and then last but not least is the big five of character traits. So the first one we have is agreeableness, which is the ability to get along with others. And Terrence is very high in this. This is Tinkerbell's male pixie dust Dustkeeper friend. He actually is friends with pretty much all of Tinkerbell's friends, but they do show her in turns the most, and he gets along with everyone very well. Conscientiousness is if someone can be counted on to get things done, and most of the fairies in Pixie Hollow are very you can trust them to get their parts of whatever their jobs are done. Person who we might not trust would be Zarina, because she just is a little bit of a firecracker. Neuroticism is the tendency to experience unpleasant emotions, and Tinkerbell definitely is highest in this within the franchise, I would think. Extroversion, we have Tinkerbell and Iridessa, and like we saw, Vidya would be on that introverted side, that we don't have a lot of representation of introverted fairies, but I think this makes sense because the whole franchise is about friendship and learning about one another. And so the introverted ones are harder to represent because they need to be interacting with our main character, Tinkerbell, in order to do that. And then openness, we have very high in Tinkerbell. She does not have a rigidity of her beliefs, and she has a very high range of interests. So this would be openness. But then in other people, it would be very low. Like Iridessa would be very low in openness because she would be more nervous to changing her beliefs or having many different interests outside of her realm of being a light fairy. And I will see you in the next video for part 5, Perception.